Okay?
What changes did you make in equipment?
Well, like all the camouflage uniforms and stuff, we tested them out there in the desert, you know, see which worked best, what the troops liked best, how to make something that you could lay down in the desert with. Hey, you put a thermometer on the desert floor, you're laying on 150 degrees. So you need your elbows to have padding, you need your knees, you need a sweat towel in the back to hold moisture. You need a lot of things for a desert uniform and the color. We used to play games with the Border Patrol while I was out there. We'd go out in the desert and the Border Patrol would try to find us. The black rifles were giving us away. And so we finally got some gunny sack material and wrapped around the rifle and a watch. Oh my God, that's like a signal to an airplane, you know, that the sun hit. So you put your watch in your pocket. I learned a lot of things. But that's the best assignment I ever had. We tested a little bit of everything.
Do you think the military? When did you retire? Did you end your career there in Yuma then, training, or did you get?
Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, I retired there. I even forgot what year now. It's been on so long.
Did you have 30 years?
No. I had really 22 active, 2 reserve. So I've been out a long time.
Did you go to work or did you do any
Oh
military?
yeah, I went right to work.
What'd you do after you?
Maintenance. Anywhere where they needed a maintenance man.
Did your upbringing in Tonkwall help give you guidance through your career, or do you think it was just the military? What gave you structure that made you who you are?
Do what now?
What?
Oh,
Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead and answer the phone if you want to. We'll just keep it running.
hello. I'm in the middle of an interview.
I figured you were. I just let you know I'm off and I'm headed down towards Hazel, see if you needed anything.
No, I don't reckon I need anything.
Okay.
All right. See you later.
Oh, all right, bye.
She just got off work.
Do you
She's
think?
got an aunt in a nursing home down there. She goes and sees her before she comes on.
Do you think the military trains their troops better than what you were trained today? And do you think the opportunities to go in the military are better than they've ever been? Do you recommend young people going to the military? Kind of just expand on that on your past experience.
Well, yeah, if I had to do over again, I wouldn't change a thing. I loved it. But by the time I got out, why, I had a wife and a couple kids. Moving around wasn't there, but wasn't what they wanted to do.
Right.
In the military, always got you moving. And half the time I wasn't home because they'd send me to Arizona or somewhere out there. And so finally I just quit on account of them, which is okay.
Right. How many children you have?
I had 2 girls.
2 girls.
Yeah.
Well, do you think what we want is that you had a distinguished military career, and of according to, we're just thankful that you let us interview. I don't know how we'll use this for sure, but, Laverne Laws is our, you know Laverne?
Yeah,
He's our guy that decides this, and we'll go through some of the things. Is there a possibility you can come back and, for homecoming in, September?
well, I don't know yet.
Okay, I'll get with Laverne after we conclude here, and I mean, after we get back, and and we edit our stuff. And,
Yeah, I remember Laverne.
the main thing is the school gave you a break, gave all the vets a break after you came back from
Right.
Korea.
They did,
And that gave you a shot to get back in the military. And the military had things that you were interested in at that time. And you just stayed in.
yeah, I really liked it. I probably, if my wife and kids, you know, would have put up with it, why,
You would have stayed.
I'd have stayed a little longer.
Is there anything you want to tell the young people that you would suggest that in fulfill it?
The problem when I got out was, they wasn't letting people stay there 30 years. They was kicking them out at 28. Do you remember Donnie Onstead?
Yes.
Okay. Me and Donnie was talking about it at Benning. And I said, well, I want to join long enough to get my 30 years, you know. They said, no, we can only give you 28.
That's a lot of money.
And so Donnie said, well, I'm going to take the 28, and maybe they'll change their mind, you know. But they didn't. They kicked him out at 28. So I'm glad I quit at 22 and went to work. You know. But Donnie come see me one time at Fort McClellan. He was stationed at.
Was he the same age as you were in Talkwalt? Was he at Talkwalt
Yeah.
in high school when you were there?
No, he was a little bit younger than us, I think. But, well, no, he was in Korea when I was there, but he was in an infantry unit. He come see us one day, and then he had to go back to his unit. But actually he was as old as I was. But I remember we was at Benning together. Well, we was at different units, but we corresponded all the time, talked on the phone. And he said, well, I'm gonna sign up for the 28. He did make E9 though, by staying. But still, they messed him out of his
30 years.
Yeah. They would have done me the same way, because I had the same deal he had.
I don't think they did that to the Air Force guys. I think they got to retire at 30. I don't know, may have been your MOS. I don't know. Would you recommend the kids going to the military today if they don't know what they're doing? What would you recommend to young people?
Well, unless they've got a high degree, they're better off there than they are probably trying to find a job out here. You know.
Did the military train you for other things, you think, too? Being in intelligence or?
Oh, yeah. There's a school for everything in the military.
There's a place for everybody, isn't there?
Yeah. And if you don't like what you're doing, well, there's always a chance to change. But I always liked every assignment I ever had. Well, except Vietnam that second time. I didn't like that.
That,
But
Cam-
actually, it worked out pretty good.
that Cambodia. What did you retire at? What rank?
I was a Master Sergeant D8.
Well, you got anything else you'd like to add to about your military? What you contributed to the country? Did you feel like it was
Well, there's higher ups in the military. They supposedly know what they're doing, and I don't know what we're going to do because every country's right now is wanting to fight, you know,
right?
and it may come down to we'll be fighting the Muslims. It'll be Christian against Muslim. Well,
If you don't have anything else, we want to thank you for our interview,
hey,
and I'm glad I came and I remember you as a kid, and I got to see you and get reacquainted. Louis is a friend of mine, and I thank you for receiving us, and
yeah.
we'll. If you got anything else you would like to add, I'm going to cut the interview here, and I appreciate it. And I'll I see Lonnie Bray and Bill McKenzie, and I'll tell them we had a good day. Do you see those guys when you go back?
Yeah, when they had their
Reunion?
little reunion. I haven't been for a couple of years. But it just don't work out with our schedule. I guess Saturday night, when she gets off work, we're gonna head for Florida.
Going on a little trip vacation?
Yeah.
Where do you go?
We go straight down the side of Florida, plumb down to the Everglades. Then we cross the Everglades and go down to Key West. And that's a good.
Louis said he was going to try to go, but he said, I've got so much to do. He said, I just can't.
Yeah, I offered to pay his way. I said, man, you don't need a nickel, just get here.
Well, I told him, I said, Louis, you going to ride down with me? He said, well, I said, why don't you go with me? And I said, you just ride with me and stay down a couple of days and go to Florida.
Louis is a little sicker than he acts,
I think he is too.
and he's putting on a front, but I can see through it. You know.
Well, I appreciate you seeing us, and we'll do you proud on this. Let's see here.